So for 3.4, we're going to be doing 2 different days. So we have a day 1 and a day 2 here. So they kind of go hand in hand. So this one actually will be fairly short, I think, to get through because I split this section in half. So what we're going to do today is how do you write an equation when you're just giving points for the line. So we will only be given 2 points, and we're going to write an equation from it. So how do we do that? Really, the only theorem we need to know is called the point slope theorem. So far we've had a couple of different formulas. We had the standard form, which was ax plus by equals c, and we had slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, as far as the equations we've had so far. This one's a little different. So point slope theorem is if you have a line that contains the point x1, y1, so this is going to include a point, and it's going to include the slope m, then the equation we can write is y minus y1, which comes directly from the point. We plug that in, equals m, which is your slope. So we might have to find m first, but once we find m, then we just plug in the y1 here, and then we multiply that by a set of parentheses, x, your variable, minus x1. And that's going to come from the x value over here. So once we have both these things, a slope and a point, we can figure out the formula by using this equation. All right, first example. Find an equation of a line that goes through the points 4, 7, and 6, negative 2. So I'm going to label them like we normally do to find the slope. If you remember the formula for slope, it is m equals y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. So we have to label them up here. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2, and then plug them in. So it goes negative 2 minus 7 all over 6 minus 4. So we've done this many times before, but this is the process that we have to go through because we need to have the slope to put into this formula up here. That's kind of our goal. Negative 2 minus 7 is negative 9. Bottom is 2. So this is m. This is going to go in up here. So now I think we're ready to do that because we have the point x1, y1. That's right here. We already labeled it. And we have the slope, right? M equals negative 9 over 2. So I'm going to plug that in here. The only variables that are going to stay here is the y and the x. That's going to stay like that. So it's going to copy down. So it goes y minus, what's y1? 7. There we go, messed up 7, equals your slope, which we just calculated, which is negative 9 over 2, times your x minus x1, which would be 4. All right, so that's the second step. We found the slope. We plugged in the numbers into this equation, this formula, and then we're going to solve for y. So how do we solve this for y? Well, we're going to move the 7 over, but before we do that, since we have parentheses here, we're going to get rid of the parentheses. And how do we do that? Use distributive property. So we're going to distribute this fraction. Negative 9 over 2 times x just kind of stays like that. But then we have negative 9 over 2 times negative 4, which turns to a plus. If you multiply that together, that would be 9 times 4, 36 over 2, which would be 18. And the other side is y minus 7. And then to get rid of the 7, or the minus 7, we add 7, and that gets added to the 18. So we have y equals negative 9 over 2x plus 18 plus 7, 25. And so that's step 3 to get the equation. So now it's in slope-intercept form, and we would be able to graph this easily. We'd start at 25, we go down 9 blocks over 2. So that is the equation to go through these 2 points. So when we would graph this, we would find that these 2 places here would be dots on our graph. But, well, if we drew the line, it would go through those points. So we're going to practice doing that some more. Okay, example 2. Find an equation of line that goes through the points 5, 9, and -2, -3. So same thing, x1, y1, x2, y2. Find the slope, so m equals, go a little faster this time, we'll do -3 minus what? 9 all over -2 minus 5. Top would be -12, bottom is -7. Those just cancel out to become positive, but nothing else simplifies from there. So it's 12 over 7. Plug this into our point slope equation. So if you remember, it's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And then we plug in the stuff. We have our slope here, and we have our point up here. So that would be y minus, what's your y1? 9 equals your slope, 12 over 7, times x minus your x1, 5. All right, now we do the same thing we did before. Like, this is the same process every time. You find the slope, plug the numbers in, and then we're going to finish this by solving for y. So we'll distribute 12 over 7x. So we have 12 times 5. This one we'll probably need a calculator for, because it's probably decimal. That's going to be 60, and then we have to divide by 7. So that would be minus, I got 8.57. I'm just going to do 8.6. This side still has y minus 9. We have to add 9 to both sides. All right, now we have it in the right form. 12 over 7x, and then we have to do negative 8.6 plus 9. So that'll be a positive 0.4. There's our equation. So we could graph this now. And again, it goes through these 2 points. All right, we have one more, and then we'll do a word problem. Write the equation of line that passes through these 2 points. 3, 2, 4, 4 in point slope form. Okay. So the slope, m equals, oh, I forgot to label these. I should probably do that. There we go. x1, y1, x2, y2. So that would be 4 minus 2, y2 minus y1, and then 4 minus 3. 4 minus 2 is 2. 4 minus 3 is 1. That's pretty nice. Now we just have a slope of 2. 2 divided by 1 is 2. Substitute values in the point slope. So you don't have to write this out every single time, but you do have to know the formula. So that'll be y minus what's y1 is 2 equals our slope, which we got over here. It's also 2 times x minus x1, 3. Now the directions in here actually say to do this in point slope form. So this actually would be your answer, but I'm going to practice going a little further. You could be done at this point, but we're going to do what we normally do. Distribute 2x, 2 times 3 is, or negative 3, maybe negative 6. And then y minus 2, add 2 to both sides. So we get 2x minus 4. That's pretty much it. Now we're going to apply this to a word problem and see how that comes out to play with a word problem. So what we really need to extract from a word problem is we need this here. We need to have 2 dedicated points that we'll create, and then we'll go through the same process, getting a slope, making the equation. But it is kind of a loaded question. So example 4. Miss Jacobs sells used cars. She gets a regular salary plus a commission, which is a percentage of her sales. One week she sold $26,000 worth of cars, so we can probably underline these numbers here. She sold $26,000 worth of cars, and she earned $860. The next week she sold $20,000 worth of cars, and she earned $800. How much must she sell to earn $1,000 1 week? So we'll get to this question a little later. First, we have to make the equation to even do all this. So the first couple of numbers here they gave us will be like our points. So step 1 says locate 2 coordinates. So we need to have like an x and y. So really we're going to do x comma y and x comma y. So we'll have 2 different points. So I think what I'll do is we'll do $860. Oh, by the way, if you don't know what commission is, basically it's based off of how much you sell, the more money you make. You may not even have like an hourly wage at all. So she's incentivized to sell more vehicles, more money, so the company makes more money, and in turn she'll make more money. So we'll say that the amount that's earned for X will be $860. So I'm going to say that the X is commission, which is the money she makes. And then Y, how do you want to say that? She sold $26,000 worth of cars. How about value of vehicles? Value of cars. I'll even add value of cars sold. This is really jumpy for me today. It's not working out so well. Sold. Okay. So 860 is the commission, comma, the value that she sold was 26,000. That's your like X1, Y1. And then we'll do the X2, Y2. If I have enough room over here. The X2 would be her commission for the next one, which was $800. And then she sold $20,000 worth there. All right, now we have to do the slope, which is step 2. Find the slope between our points. So Y2 comes first. It would be 20,000 minus 26,000. Those are the Y's subtracted. And then it would be 800 minus 860. So the top becomes negative 6,000. The bottom is negative 60, which actually comes out to be a fairly good number if you divide 6,000 by 60. And the 2 negatives cancel out, so it's 100. So this is your slope, right? M equals 100. All right, so now we're going to go and actually use the formula that we just learned before. Use the point slope formula to write the equation. So we're going to go y minus y sub 1. So we have to find it up here. 26,000. It's right here. 26,000 equals our slope, which we just found, which was 100, times x minus your x1, 860. All right, we'll distribute. So y minus 26,000 equals 100x. 100 times x is 100x, and then 100 times 860, which is 86,000. And then we're going to add on 26,000 to both sides to finish this equation off. Okay, and then we get y equals 100x, and then add them together. So it looks like that's going to be minus 60,000, negative 86,000 plus 26,000. So this is the equation we need. We're going to use this formula to now help answer the question. So that's step 4. So we got the coordinates, we got the slope, we use the point slope formula. We're done with that. Now we're actually going to answer the question. So now we can go to the last sentence here. It says, how much must she sell to earn $1,000 1 week? So now we have the formula. Where does the $1,000 go? If she's earning that, that would be like her commission, right? That's going to go in for, if you look over here, commission is X. So we plug 1,000 in for X and solve. So I'm going to put it over here a little bit more. So Y equals 100 times 1,000. It's going to be pretty big. But then we're going to minus that by 60,000. I'm just plugging in 100 down here for X. So it's 100 times 1,000. That's going to be 100,000 minus 60,000. It's pretty easy to do. So the amount that she has to sell, the value of the cars that she has to sell, will end up being 40,000. 100,000 minus 60,000. So she'd have to sell $40,000 worth of vehicles to get a $1,000 check. Maybe I'll write that, and that should be the end. If I can, she must. Okay, this is not working at all anymore. Must sell $40,000 worth of cars to get $1,000. I'll say that as best I can because this thing's messing up. And so that's everything you need to, I think, for the rest of it, and that's down onto Team Huddle, which finishes day 1 for a 3.1.